3 locations with multi-storey and private residential buildings, vehicles and non-residential premises damaged. Meanwhile, a Ukrainian drone attack on Monday on a Russian city has killed around 12 people and wounded dozens, authorities in the Tatarstan region say. Ukraine has targeted Russian oil facilities with long-range drones almost daily in recent months. The barrage causing fuel shortages in Russia, eating into Russian refining capacity and unsettling the Russian public. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration says the contiguous United States set a record for its hottest month ever in July. On Wall Street, the Dow down by 61 points, the Nasdaq dropped 85, the S&P 500 lower by 4. This is SRN News. Republican Senator James Langford of Oklahoma has introduced the Military Chaplains Modernization Act of 2026 to codify the purpose and duties of chaplains and protect their First Amendment rights.
The bill would guarantee chaplains can worship, counsel, preach, and offer prayer according to their sincerely held religious beliefs without censorship or retaliation. And it would prohibit commanders from requiring chaplains to perform religious acts contrary to those beliefs. The measure follows past cases where chaplains were removed or disciplined after expressing biblical views on marriage, sexuality, or transgender service. And it's backed by multiple Republican senators. Richard Boyd reporting.
The Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals has revived a religious discrimination lawsuit against Alaska Airlines and its flight attendants union. The judges ruled the jury should decide whether 2 employees were fired because of their Christian beliefs. This is SRN News. A spicy item, a particular variety of chili pepper, is the subject of the latest food recall we're hearing about.
Taylor Fresh Foods, a parent company of Taylor Farms, is voluntarily recalling some products that include jalapenos because of worries about possible salmonella contamination. The announcement comes a few weeks after Taylor Farms voluntarily recalled its iceberg lettuce products sourced from Mexico because of a potential link to a multi-state cyclospora outbreak that has sickened people across the U.S. Rich Thomason reporting.
Ben Jones, who played the good old boy mechanic in the Dukes of Hazzard TV series and parlayed his fame into a political career and 2 terms in the U.S. House, has died. He was 84 years of age. Jones had a heart attack in his home Sunday in Washington, Virginia. More details at srnnews.com. From Washington, I'm Keith Peters.
Let's see, if something costs less, but people are happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that is Medi-Share. Maybe you've heard switching to Medi-Share to pay for health care can save many families up to $500 a month, and that is huge. But it's also true that people are way more satisfied after making the switch, too. The member satisfaction rate for Medi-Share is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. Medi-Share works, too. It's been around for 30 years. Members have shared more than $5 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So, yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now. You'll get a price within 2 minutes. So see what you can save. This is a very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. Call 833-34-BIBLE. That's 833-34-BIBLE. 833-34-BIBLE.
If you don't want to hear real facts on social and political issues, then stop listening now. Otherwise, stay right here for real issues, real facts with real people.
Maybe you know what a zombie is.
When you keep voting party line, this is what happens to you.
It's worse than horrible because a zombie has no will of his own.
You have subways that are falling apart. You have cops that are being accosted in the street because of that socialist you elected as your mayor.
You see them sometimes walking around blindly with dead eyes, following orders.
When are you New Yorkers going to start holding those people responsible for what they do?
Not knowing what they do, not caring.
You mean like Democrats?
I'm going to deal with topics and issues that'll make you think, make you mad, maybe even get you a little embarrassed. So don't go anywhere. The lines are open. You can reach me at 855-REAL-JOE, 855-732-5563.
It's the Joe Messina Show.
We are back at it again. Joe Messina, your host. Always a pleasure to have you with me. 855-REAL-JOE. 855-732-5563. Get involved. Get engaged. Just be part of the conversation. Not that hard. Doesn't require, any kind of special anything. Right? Just get the information. Look it up yourself. Look it up several places. That's what I do. I look it up several places before I start talking to you about it. 855-REAL-JOE. Or, again, send me the email, joe@joemessina.com, joe@joemessina.com. All right. Man, there's so many great stories to choose from. The Clarence Thomas just went like ballistic on the ruling of the Supreme Court on the birthright citizenship stuff. And he just published the exact argument for why the Supreme Court's birthright citizenship ruling is constitutionally wrong. Right? Not a political objection, not a policy disagreement, named history, specific text, amendment by amendment. So bear with me because you're going to want to hear this. The 14th Amendment of 1868, one pervading purpose, securing equal citizenship for freed slaves after the Civil War. Reconstruction Congress's intent, zero evidence the drafters contemplated children of foreign and temporary visitors or illegal aliens for that matter. Subject to the jurisdiction clause. Thomas he said it means full political allegiance, not mere physical presence on U.S. soil. The majority opinion, Thomas says, is repurposed the amendment to protect preferred rights the drafters never contemplated. Right? He said those rights cannot find support in the text today. His warning on the ruling says, I'm not sure that today's opinion will stand the test of time. Thomas, during his April 26th oral argument, he probed whether immigration debates even existed when the 14th Amendment was written. His core distinction, freed slaves were entitled to citizenship because they were Americans with no other homeland. Children of foreign nationals are not in the same category. Robertson Barrett joined a liberal bloc, basically against the American people. Gorsuch joined Thomas in dissent. Alito filed a separate dissent. 91 pages, one purpose the 14th Amendment actually had per Thomas. Zero rights, the Reconstruction Congress contemplated for children of foreign nationals. 100% of Thomas's argument grounded in a specific post-Civil War historical record, not modern policy. And every argument on the list is anchored in text, and he went through it line by line by line. Thomas pulled a 91-page marker on the record. He dissented. His dissent is still ticking. It's still out there. People are still listening. And I don't think this is dead. I really don't think this is dead. I think they can get a do-over if they do it right. I don't know if the court just didn't want to deal with the aftermath of this decision. I don't know. Anyhow, 855-REAL-JOE, 855-732-5563. And I do so much appreciate the time that you spend with me. Sorry, I got flickering going on in front of me, so it's kind of hard to read through some of this stuff or look over this stuff. All right, anyway, this is what I want to do with you. This is Charles Payne is tired of hearing that billionaires, trillionaires, whatever, don't pay their fair share. And I've listened to this twice now. You can't deny it. I'll play it when we come back, but the socialists keep saying the rich don't pay their fair share in taxes. Charles Payne, he just ran actual numbers and he ended their narrative in under 2 minutes. He said the top 1% pay roughly 40% of federal income taxes while earning about 22% of the income. That's not fair. The top 10% entrepreneurs and small business owners putting in 60-hour weeks, they pay over 70% of total taxes. If we were to tax people based on how much they used services, the top earners would be paying close to zero. Yeah, you heard me. So be thankful we live in a country that is progressive as it is, because it's pretty good balance right now. Elizabeth Warren called Elon Musk a freeloader in 2021, said that we have to change the rig tax code so the person of the year will actually pay taxes. Musk replied, if you open your eyes for 2 seconds, you'd realize I will pay more taxes than any American in history this year. Ready for this one? Musk paid $11 billion that year in taxes. All right? I'm sorry, how much more should he have paid? Seriously, right? I want you to think about something, though. We know how Elon Musk became a trillionaire. We know the work that he did. I want to know how Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren, and Nancy Pelosi became multimillionaires. I think that's the question of the day. Joe Messina, your host. We'll be back.
Take as little as 3 minutes to see if you could save on motorcycle insurance with Progressive. Come on, you've spent more time than that trying to name your bike.
How about the Crusher? I guess it's not really crushing anything. The Silver Bolt? No. Oh, what about Pepper? Mysterious. Is it a pet or a condiment? Surprise! It's a motorcycle. No, that's stupid.
Get a quote in as little as 3 minutes at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
I'd like to introduce you to our new sponsor, Get the Tea. Get the Tea carries all natural, non-GMO organic teas and supplements made in the USA. Get the Tea's ingredients are the purest available. My favorite is Life Change Tea. Life Change Tea is a gentle daily cleanse containing 12 herbs that, when combined, really keep things moving. I drink it every day, and my energy has never been better. I'm feeling great. Life Change Tea comes in 3 delicious flavors: natural, peppermint, and pomegranate. It's an easy and delicious way to keep your digestion on track. And for those on the go, try D365. D365 is Life Change Tea in a capsule. Drink the tea or take D365 capsules and keep your digestion running smoothly. Go to getthetea.com and enter discount code USA to get 10% off any size order. That's getthetea.com, discount code USA for 10% off your order.
When I started MyPillow, it was just a problem solution, one product company. Well, since then, with the help of my dedicated employees, we now have hundreds of products, some you might not even know about. To get the word out, we're having a $25 extravaganza. 2-pack multi-use MyPillows, $25. MyPillow sandals, $25. And for the first time ever, our 6-pack towel sets, you guessed it, just $25. Our brand new 4-pack dish towels, $25. And I've never done this before. Premium MyPillows with all new Giza fabric, any size, any loft level, even king size for only $25. And there's so much more.
So go to MyPillow.com or call 800-923-1812 and use promo code AUDIO1 to get the standard MyPillow for only $14.88, the lowest price ever.
Okay, I'm talking funny because I'm in the witness protection program. I have too much credit card debt and I don't want people to find me.
Okay, I'm just kidding. We're going to talk about credit card debt. Right, those plastic things that we all have in our wallet. Are you in your 50s or 60s and you're still carrying around a mound of credit card debt? Wouldn't it be nice to start banking that money and save a little money for retirement down the road? We help people restructure their credit card debt all the time. We show people how they can get out of credit credit card debt in months, not years. Listen, you'll be carrying around credit card debt for the rest of your life unless you deal with it right now. We offer a free consultation so you can learn how you can finally wipe out your credit card debt and start saving money. Give us a free call right now.
Call Debt Solutions Network now. 866-451-3328. 866-451-3328. That's 866-451-3328.
If you're a diabetic, we have great news. You can end the painful finger sticks with a new CGM. Plus, they may be covered by Medicare, Medicaid, or private insurance. If you test and inject daily, you may qualify. Call US Med now to learn more.
800-471-7065. 800-471-7065. 800-471-7065. That's 800-471-7065.
Attention! This is a public notice from the Social Security Disability Helpline. If you're one of the millions of Americans who are disabled and unable to work, you may be eligible for disability benefits from Social Security. Receiving benefits is your right. If you suffer from physical or mental disability, whether you're applying for the first time or you've already been denied, we can help. We'll evaluate your situation and deal with Social Security on your behalf. Best of all, there's no fee until you receive your benefits. Remember, we only get paid if you win your case. There are many reasons and conditions that may make you eligible for disability benefits. Many of them you may not be aware of. So if you're disabled and unable to work, call now to get started with your free, no-obligation consultation.
800-362-9337. 800-362-9337. That's 800-362-9337.
So far, this show has been awfully slow.
Except for the one I saw you do last Thursday.
When we were coming over here tonight, I was a little concerned about his driving. The minute he got to the wheel, I was worried. The left rear wheel he was going to get.
I look around the room and I realize now, aside from Clint Eastwood, I'm the biggest name here.
And now, the professor of political incorrectness, the naysayer of nonsense, the cure for Democrat dementia, here's Joe Messina.
I'm just watching something to make me sick. Seriously. You know what? I hope Trump sees this. So there is, I don't know the true details. I haven't enough time to look it through, but there's a report out right now that the Taliban is going to receive about $200 million of our tax money over the next 5 weeks. Because John Thune would not bring the bill to stop it to the floor. So when the Senate Majority Leader tells you that he has not seen legislation to stop delivering the Taliban $40 million per week, despite it being under his control for 11 months, it's time to launch a full investigation. There's something going on here. Right? Trump should use his authority under the Article 2, Section 3 to call the Senate back into session and force them to debate the Save America Act. Force them to do these things. Right? It's just amazing to me that we can't fix this. All right, Joe, relax. 855 Real Joe. 85. You can't. This stuff makes you nuts. Right? Why isn't this person being this one person being investigated? Okay. You talk about deep state corruption. This is a woman speaking at the DSA New York convention or whatever you want to call what they have. So undercover footage from inside New York DSA meeting reveals that they're using illegal aliens in their socialist movement to gain political power. The speaker goes on to say there's so many ways which illegals can be involved behind the scenes. You don't have to have papers to have power. Wonder what she means by that. Right? So, you got to listen to this. I was going to just blow it off, but I want you to hear this person and what they're saying here.
Born in this country. I just want to say that as an immigrant who was not born in this country, as a formerly undocumented immigrant, as someone who just got her citizenship in 2016, I did not openly identify myself as a socialist. For a while, I was a closeted socialist. Partly because, I grew up, when we moved to this country, my parents moved to Florida, and that was a very different political context in which to call yourself a socialista, right? And so I understand that, sometimes because of our own safety, because of the political context, because of your power, you may not be as out and proud or active in particular roles that may be public in your politics. But what I do want to say is that there are so many ways in which you can be involved behind the scenes in small ways. Part of the work that I did and the reason I moved to Queens.
Now, this person is Diane Marino. She's a New York State Assembly person. Right? Isn't that amazing? Also, Claire Valdez spoke at this. She's a congressional candidate. Socialists. Right? I mean, seriously. It's just amazing. It's amazing to me that we've allowed this to go on. That we keep... Here, take a few more seconds of this.
Was because I saw the political power that undocumented workers and undocumented people in Queens were building. And, I see some compañeros here that I work with.
I like that. Undocumented people
who were part of this movement, right? And so I know deeply and personally and firsthand that you don't have to have papers to have power, right?
Wow. Yeah, we'll do just about anything. God, amazing. So, we're allowing all this to happen around us. We're allowing illegals to vote. We're allowing illegals to get involved in our politics. We're allowing millions and millions and millions of your tax dollars to go. When are you going to take a stand? I know some of you will say, well, I'm raising a family. I got this going on. I got that going on. Just amazing. Think about it. Democrats have imported over 20 million illegals. And those illegals, right, they're going to increase the census numbers, which will give the Democrats more seats. Eventually get voting rights for the illegals. Democrats don't care anything about the American safety or prosperity. They're importing these people to steal the wealth of the American taxpayer and increase Democrat power. So, I don't know. The way these people speak about what they want to do in Congress and to Congress, maybe they're enemies of the state at this point. I don't know any other way to put it. This woman just basically said it didn't matter whether you had papers or not. That she was able to find power even without paper. Anyway. 855-REAL-JOE. 855-732-5563. Yeah, well, we knew this was coming. Trump's going to appeal to the Supreme Court over the halted White House ballroom. Been stalled again. These guys have been fighting to stop him. They've been fighting to stop him from everything. And I mean everything. Even from cleaning up D.C. They've been trying to stop him from, fixing the stuff that's broken in D.C. There's always a reason why Donald can't do it. Well, you guys could have tried. You never have. Because you're too busy sending that money other places, like your wallet. Donald Trump said on August 7, 2026, that he would ask the Supreme Court to let the White House ballroom construction resume. An appeals court halted the project and ruled that Congress must authorize it. Putting Trump's plan for the White House at the center of a dispute over the presidential authority and the role of Congress. The immediate issue is whether the work on the ballroom can restart. The larger question is whether the president can order a major change to the White House without clear legislative agreement. He's not tearing the place down. And over the years, the many years, there have been changes to the White House without any approval. Trump's response to construction pause went beyond the details of the building project. He told judges, "We're not tenants. We're presidents. We're arguing that the elected president should have the authority that some judges can't control." And you know what? Just look back at the Abraham Lincoln days. Maybe he's right. Joe Messina, your host. Don't go far.
Attention homeowners. It's not if something's going to break, it's when. That's homeownership. If your dryer, your refrigerator, or your AC and heating breaks, that's an expensive call. And who do you call? Make it easy on yourself and call Choice Home Warranty. We've already done the research and have access to 25,000 technicians that can be at your home quickly. We've covered close to 2 million homes in the United States. There's a good chance your neighbors work with us. Call us right now before the next breakdown. We'll tell you everything that's covered in your home and give you the first month free with our ironclad 30-day money-back guarantee. Call now and learn how to get your free month.
800-378-2250. 800-378-2250. 800-378-2250. That's 800-378-2250.
Limitations and exclusions apply. First month free with purchase of single plan. Visit choicehomewarranty.com for more details.
Life is full of surprises. Some wonderful, some not so much. But here's one thing you can control: making sure your loved ones are protected if the unexpected happens. At easyplans.com, we make getting life insurance, well, easy. In just a few minutes, you can apply online and buy direct. No awkward phone calls, no confusing jargon, and no agent will contact you unless you request help. Just clear, affordable coverage, designed to fit your life and your budget. Fast approval, flexible plans, and unlike other online insurance sites, Easy Plans won't sell your information to others. So no endless phone calls and text messages. Whether you're just starting a family, buying a home, or thinking ahead, EasyPlans.com has you covered. EasyPlans.com. We make buying life insurance, well, easy.
With SRN News, I'm Jason Walker. Major earthquake hitting western Colombia. At least 111 people are dead. Hundreds, if not thousands, of buildings have been destroyed. The quake is the country's strongest recorded quake now in the 21st century and was followed by nearly 24 aftershocks. President Trump signing an executive order to scale back childhood immunizations. The directive cuts recommended childhood vaccines, splitting them up the combined MMR shot.
So the MMR, we want to have separate visits, separate times. The vaccine being broken into 3 separate single doses and vaccines being administered in separate visits. For example, at 1 year, you should have 5 separate visits for vaccines rather than getting them all in the same day.
New details emerging about what Dr. Anthony Fauci was telling the public about the risk of COVID vaccine to pregnant women versus the concerns he was raising privately during the COVID pandemic. Correspondent Laura Winters.
Text messages from his own phone indicate that Anthony Fauci privately raised concerns that the COVID vaccine could theoretically be linked to miscarriages. Publicly, he insisted there were no red flags for pregnant women. Fauci still went on to recommend pregnant women get vaccinated. These text messages are being released by Kentucky Senator Rand Paul and Wisconsin's Ron Johnson. They are part of 34,000 texts and 522 voicemails obtained by the Senate Homeland Security Committee from Fauci's government-issued cell phone.
There is some controversy in Russia. Now, the highest court has ordered the only party opposing the Kremlin's military action in Ukraine to be removed from the ballot in next month's elections.
We're back at it again. Joe Messina, your host. Always a pleasure to have you with me. 855-REAL-JOE. 855-732-5563. Look, get involved, get engaged, be part of the solution. Love it when you are. Yes, love it when you are, whether you like it or not. And I do appreciate the time that you're spending with me. All right. Talking about the Supreme Court, of Trump going to the Supreme Court because these Democrats can't stand it when he makes any kind of changes to the White House. And they're saying that he has to have congressional approval. Not historically true. How's that? We all go back to Thomas Jefferson in 1801. He redesigned the east and west colonnades connecting the main residence to the service buildings. These changes drew criticism from the Federalists, but were executed. Remember, this is the founding father. Executed without congressional authorization. James Monroe, he added the south portico after the War of 1812, and Andrew Jackson built the north portico. This is just great stuff. Anyway, north portico, while Congress appropriated funds, the presidents initiated the projects largely on their own authority. Theodore Roosevelt, back in the 1900s, he commissioned a major West Wing renovation, converting a greenhouse into office space for the president and staff. William Howard Taft, he later expanded it, again relying on executive discretion for design. These guys didn't get congressional approval. And they were closer to our founding father. If this was something that needed to be stopped, they could have done it back then. Franklin Roosevelt, he added the East Wing to the House, the First Lady and staff, project undertaken during World War II. We had limited congressional oversight back then. Harry Truman oversaw full-scale reconstruction of the White House interior due to structural collapse. Now, Congress did provide funding. The president directed the project and made executive decisions on design and construction without input from them. Nixon, God bless the guy, Nixon installed a bowling alley in the basement, which had to be a trip. And Barack Obama converted a tennis court into a basketball court. General Ford added an outdoor pool funded by private donations, demonstrating that presidents could implement recreation or aesthetic changes without congressional approval. Right? Now, legally, the president has administrative and physical control over the White House as executive resident, allowing discretion over interior design, furnishings, minor structural adjustments. But these guys all did major ones. That's simple. They got away with it. Now, the other thing is the fact that this has to do with money. There's nothing that talks about or calls out privately funded projects. The president may also use executive orders to reorganize administrative functions or agencies, sometimes without immediate congressional approval, though such actions are subject to judicial review and statutory limits. So, again, it's the gray area is the private funded area and what he can get away with and what he can't. And many presidents did this. I just read a whole bunch of them to you. And the dollar amounts, in some cases, were crazy. 855-REAL-JOE. 855-732-5563. I appreciate the time you're spending with me here on the air and in the chat room and texting and tweeting. So, this headline caught my eye. because it just shows you how partisan these news sources are. Now remember, all the titles you see now in these news stories, Supreme Court sides with Trump. Supreme Court beats Trump. Supreme Court stops Trump. Federal judge stops Trump. Well, so you're saying that every decision he makes, everything he asks for, has to do with bettering him and just him? You're wrong. You're out of your mind. They should say the Supreme Court beat the American people. The Supreme Court agreed with the Constitution. That's what they really should say. So this title caught me off because it said, Trump maligns Supreme Court Justice Samuel Alito insists he's not retiring before midterms. What do you mean Trump aligned? He says, obviously I'm here for another term. He's 76. Because there was all kinds of speculation that he would step down before Democrats had a chance to take him back to the Senate. So Alito said that he would remain in the Supreme Court at least one other term. Many wondered whether Alito 76 would retire in the coming months so that President Trump could install a conservative replacement before the end of the year. Right? Democrats have a path. Some people feel they have a path to flipping the Senate. Supreme Court Justice Samuel Alito, though, is insisting that he's going to remain on it another term. Shut down the speculation he might retire to give Trump the opportunity. You know, I mean, he's there. He said you look at him. He said he feels like the vultures are just circling around. I get a kick out of this. Big, Democrats are hoping to retake the Senate, and therefore somehow put somebody on the Supreme Court that will vote their way, which is ridiculous. So ridiculous. Never miss a story. Tune in every night. I'm here every night. And I do the crazy stuff. So anyhow, hopefully he'll make it through. I still have my doubts about Scalia dying of natural causes. Sorry, but I do. So as the WNBA watches the right continue to hijack narratives about the sport, Stephen A. Smith is urging the league to take a stand. I mean, this has been amazing. I'm not a sports guy, but I'm watching this stuff just because I'm hearing everything. Now this whole woke garbage has moved into WNBA. And Stephen Smith, he's posing an irrational question. He said, hey, what if an NBA player decided to transition to play on the WNBA? Now, there's never been a transgender athlete there. But what if that happened? Well, it looks like it might. Ernest Cantor and Race White recently took to the insincerity around the discussion of new heights. They declared for 2027 WNBA draft, which might have treated as some sort of told you so. He said that they've been recent playbook for Republicans. They attempted to utilize the WNBA's growing popularity to fuel culture war debates. It's just nuts. And Stephen A. Smith, he's all over this like white on rice. Right? Just crazy stuff. Anyhow, I'm not a big fan of his. I'm becoming a fan of his in a lot of ways because he's willing to speak up on this crazy stuff. He's willing to open his mouth and actually say something where others won't. I don't get it. Anyway, 855-REAL-JOE, 855-732-5563. And Smith is all over this. He's tired of this kind of stuff. It's one thing when the wokeness doesn't touch him or the sports or what have you, but now he's turning around going, well, wait a minute. This is so wrong. Now you want to work your way into the WNBA. It's just so wrong. And you know what? These people who want to be paid more, which I get a kick out of, these people who want to be paid more, they don't draw anywhere near the draw that the male teams draw in. They don't make anywhere near the money, right? But they want to say, and now they're trying to make a farce out of this whole thing. Now they think because all of a sudden they're in the news, they're worth something. We'll see. I don't buy it for a second. Again, what they're doing is they're playing on the excitement that's happening right now, right? 855 Real Joe, 855-732-5563. I do appreciate the time you're spending with us here on the air and in the chat room and texting and tweeting and just being part of it. Pay attention, stay involved. We'll be back in a few minutes.
Right now, you can eliminate odors, mold, mildew, bacteria, and viruses in your home with the Eden Pure Thunderstorm Air Purifier. The Eden Pure Thunderstorm uses Oxy technology that naturally sends out O3 molecules that seek out and destroy odors. The Thunderstorm doesn't mask or cover up bad smells, it eliminates them, leaving that fresh, clean smell, just like after a thunderstorm. The Thunderstorm is small, plugs right into the wall, and fits in the palm of your hand. Put one in your basement, bedroom, family room, kitchen, or anywhere you want clean, fresh air. It even includes a USB cord for your car or truck. Right now, save $200 on an Eden Pure Thunderstorm 3-pack for whole home protection. That's 3 units for under $200, a fraction of the cost compared to other air purifiers. Go to EdenPureDeals.com and use discount code USA3 to save $200. That's EdenPureDeals.com. Use USA and the number 3. Shipping is free.
Attention timeshare owners. Tired of the financial stress? Were you misled by the salesperson? Don't or can't use your timeshare anymore? If any of these apply to you, then you may qualify for timeshare cancellation and get the relief you need now. Timeshare Defense Attorneys is the #1 affordable fixed fee legal solution in the country with an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. That's certainly better than my grades. They even offer a 100% client satisfaction guarantee. Let one of their experienced lawyers evaluate your case and explain the process. If they take you as a client, they'll work on your case until it's resolved in your favor, guaranteed. Expect great service and a close working relationship with your lawyer, keeping you informed every step of the way, protecting your rights, interests, and even your credit. It's that simple. Even a kid like me can understand it. The consultation is free. Call today.
800-875-1853. 800-875-1853. That's 800-875-1853.
Omaha Steaks is rewriting the book on burgers with an all-new handmade texture for the juiciest home-style burgers you've ever tasted. Their pure ground burgers are made from single cuts of real aged Omaha steaks. These are truly steaks on a bun. Filet mignon, ribeye, New York strip, sirloin, and even brisket burgers. Now is the time to experience the exclusive Burger Perfection Flight for just $79.99. Go to omahasteaks.com and use promo code TREAT at checkout to get an extra $20 off your order plus free shipping. You'll get 4 of each pure ground burger so you can sample all the steak on a bun greatness. These burgers are crafted for a juicier, more tender experience, making your mouth water with every single bite. Don't wait. Go to omahasteaks.com. Use promo code TREAT at checkout and get $20 off the Burger Perfection Flight and discover your new burger obsession. Minimum order may be required.
Do you want to save money on your next flight? Then pick up the phone and call. That's right, call. Because the best prices are not online. They're with SmartFares. See, SmartFares has special deals with the airlines. When they have unsold seats, they use SmartFares to fill them. So you get airline tickets at crazy low prices. They have access to great prices and discounts at over 500 different airlines. Plus 300,000 hotels and rental car companies. Their prices are too low to publish online. With the extra money you'll save, you can book another trip or treat yourself to dinner or shopping. So stop searching all of those travel sites to find the lowest price on your next flight. Let one of our SmartFares expert travel agents find the best price for you. Call SmartFares today and get ready to see the world with a fat wallet.
800-871-3291. 800-871-3291. 800-871-3291. That's 800-871-3291.
I've got a unique vacation idea for you that's right here in the United States. If you're ready for a vacation that's fun and downright affordable, listen up. It's driving distance for many of you, so no planes, no airline delays, no hassles. It's Branson, Missouri, the entertainment capital of the Midwest. Live music for everyone. Branson has 3 beautiful, enormous lakes, water attractions, live shows, great food, and tons of entertainment. It's a perfect vacation for you and your family, or if you're retired and you want to have a great time. And you can stay in Branson for as low as $99 a night. Please understand, this is not a timeshare offer. It's a real vacation for as little as $99 a night. We've got a free vacation guide we want to send you right now. All you have to do is call for complete details. Get your free Branson, Missouri guide right now by calling this number.
800-399-4215. 800-399-4215. 800-399-4215. That's 800-399-4215.
Never mind, dear. Chin up. That's right, both of them. Yeah.
All right, we're back at it again. Joe Messina, your host. Always a pleasure. Yeah, don't you love technology? Always a pleasure to have you with me. 855-REAL-SHOW. 855-732-5563. Get involved, get engaged, be part of the solution. It helps tremendously. It helps because, again, you'll get informed. If I make a mistake, like some of you people love to do, to tell me that I've made a mistake, you'll at least have the opportunity to help clean it up, right? And then once you help clean it up, then you'll know for sure. Maybe you're wrong. God forbid. But maybe you are wrong. You know? So I said to you when we were, just before we went to break, this is Charles Payne went through, and it's funny how many people are disputing this. All these Facebook and or, these ex-CPAs, right? Twitter CPAs, Twitter accountants, whatever. I got to tell you, I don't think people realize how much billionaires do pay. But for those of you who actually are upset at the fact that they can hire, I guess, attorneys or CPAs that know enough about the tax laws so they don't have to pay as much, what are you upset about? How many people have you hired? How many people have you put to work so they could feed their families? I'm curious. Because I've fed people in the past. I've gone without a paycheck so my employees can have a paycheck. That doesn't mean I'm holier than thou. It just means I've been there. I know what it's like. I'm tired of those people who've never cut a check to anybody in their life for this kind of thing, telling me where I'm wrong. Or why I'm wrong, for that matter. That's even better, frankly. So, 855-REAL-JOE, 855-732-5563. Get involved, get engaged. And it's so hard to do this sometimes because I want to get the full screen in for you guys. And it's not always that easy, But the heck with it. Here, we'll give it a try anyhow. Right? Give it, what do they say? The old college heave-ho. Come on, you can do this. Come on, Charlie. Give me something.
For too long, the millionaires have had it too good, and they don't pay their fair share. So let's take a look at what they're actually paying. Top 1%.
$823 billion. Now, here's the thing. The average 1%er the government starts taxing you at 561%. Do you feel like a 1%er out there if that's your income?
Right.
So that's what I mean. It starts to get really pretty big. By the way, 40% of the taxes, 22% of the income. So they're obviously paying a lot more than what they earn. They're putting in a lot more skin in the game. You know what's a novel idea? What if they flip this around and say, how about we tax you based on how much you use the system? How many times you in your neighborhood call the police, the fire department, your emergency room? How about we do that? This number would be zero, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, so listen, it's be thankful we live in a country that's as progressive as it is, because it's a pretty good balance right now.
All right, so let's take the top 5%. That comes up to $1.3 trillion. Right. Does that sound like they're not paying their fair share? Oh. I think that's how much percentage of the total tax base? Yeah, that's 60%. 60%. And not only that, again, it's so skewed from what they earn and what they pay. And this number starts to come down. 561, we start getting down 300,000 here. Right.
Right.
So to start paying your fair share, the top 10% of the country, the earners, the one who put in the 60-hour work weeks, they believe, socialists believe, they're scamming the system. Right. That's how they got wealthy. Right. But look what they're paying into the system. Right.
It's 71% of the taxes, right? And again, start thinking about the entrepreneurs out there. Start thinking about in your local town, the person that started a plumber, now with 7 trucks. You know, he's hired your nephew. Think about these folks out there that the heart of our country, the small businesses of our country, you really start to break down the true economic foundation when you start going after this group.
Did I help you? Did that help you? I mean, there's much more money being spent here. They're paying much more into the system. Just like, you know, when you heard that Mitt Romney didn't pay any taxes, right? And Harry Reid was interviewed about that later on. And he said point blank, when the interviewer said to him, well, you know, we found out, or we know now that it was a lie, that Mitt Romney didn't pay taxes. Do you still stand by that? Are you still okay with that? What did he say? No, seriously. He said, well, it kept him from getting elected now, didn't it? I mean, are we serious here? This is okay? You guys are good with this? 855 Real Joe. I mean, he did it with such ease. Well, he didn't get elected. No kidding. Anyhow, 855 Real. Well, just send me an email, joe@joemessina.com. joe@joemessina.com. There, like I said, there is so much going on there. So much to pay attention to. And I'm glad to see that people are finally engaging to the point where they are getting involved. They are paying attention to who's saying what, where, how, and when. You know, because it's really... It's getting to the point now, right? Where you're so busy protecting yourself. I shouldn't say protecting yourself, because some of you aren't. But you are to a degree from a standpoint of you're protecting yourself from, I don't care if it's taxes, laws, whatever, not realizing that everybody, just say it. I mean, everybody can be there. Everybody can be at that position or in a position where because of the law, they could be getting nailed big time. Laws. And yet you see these Democrats, the elected officials and others, walking away from this stuff. No big deal. Nothing to see here, which I was getting a kick out of. There's plenty to see. A lot more to see than anybody wants to admit to. God, 855 Real Joe, 855-732-5563. You're hearing more and more that here in California, a lot more about Becerra, who's running for governor, by the way. He has been accused by, and you know, it's going to get drowned out. Local news sources won't do anything with it. They didn't do anything with Newsom when he was cheating on his wife, right? So here's the same thing here. We have the same people here covering for Becerra because they want that power so bad. They'll throw your kids under the bus because they want that power so bad. And you know who's at fault? You are. You people that vote for them. You're at fault. You should know better. This isn't that hard to figure out. You don't need any kind of special training or anything else to look up some of the stuff that these nut jobs are doing. And if you say, I don't have time, you better hope nothing happens to your child. Because somebody else may say the same thing. I don't have time for this. I'm sorry your child is missing or may have been picked up by traffickers or whatever. I don't have time for this. How'd you feel about that yourself? Let me see if this works. It's never going to work. Here, we'll do it this way. Take a listen.
Importó la seguridad de nosotros, sino que lo que le importó a él es.
Okay, I'm sorry. I grabbed the wrong version, but basically, what he's saying is that he was being grabbed at the border. He was grabbed at the border, and this is what they did. This is what they did to him. They gave him off to what he believed they knew was a trafficking group. So he was forced into debt bondage after Becerra released him to child traffickers. He asked Becerra, how could you do this? And Becerra is dodging questions from the press and others. So, again, when you look at this and you say, okay, if you got these kids, and there's a boatload of kids in these videos. Some people are saying it's a setup. Well, you don't have to set up. You don't have to set up a guy like Becerra. He thinks he's above the law. He thinks he can get away with all kinds of stuff. And he will. You know why he will? He will because mainstream media won't do anything for him, to him, or about it. Okay? Really, that simple. And you know that's true. You know, I was talking to a friend of mine today about how dark and evil we've gotten. And I asked how that happened. How did that happen? How did we allow that to happen? I mean, we're supposed to have moral values, aren't we? Give that a thought. Play with that for a while. All right. Joe Messina, your host. God bless for being. I appreciate your time with me. I really do. I'm sorry I'm always the guy going, being the negative naysayer, but you got to know about this stuff. You have to pay attention to this stuff. Joe Messina, your host. God bless, guys. Have a great rest of the day. Back with you tomorrow.